Hey, this is Joe Prosperi
And Lydia Gwynn
from Chew in the Lou. Thanks for downloading our podcast. Make sure you check out our website, chewinthelou.org, to find recipes and stories from throughout the St. Louis region and from PBS food chefs. Now on to our episode.
All right, Mr. Prosperi, what is, moment of truth, what is your New Year's resolution?
My New Year's resolution is to tell better stories this year.
I mean, what is your food New Year's resolution?
My food resolution is to tell better food stories.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, it fits because we actually have a really, really great food story for you today.
We do.
One that when we set out for one of the first episodes of the new year on the Chew in the Lou podcast, we set out to talk about dry January.
Yes.
And what it's like to do a dry January, the idea of after the holidays, some people just need to take a step back from alcohol for a little while and not drink for 30 days in January.
Yeah.
31 days in January.
There are 31 days.
30 days have September, April, June, and November.
Yeah,
31 days in
it's the first
January.
one on your hand, right?
Okay, yeah.
January, February.
Gosh,
Yeah.
I'm a big kid, guys. I know how many days there are in January.
We're college
And
educated.
maybe I need to do a dry January. But the idea that, people do dry January as once, for a variety of reasons. And it may not be dry January. It may be vegan January, or it may be I'm going to exercise every day. Everyone's got their New Year's resolution.
Right. And usually New Year's resolutions are very based on food, right? Yeah. I would say that very rarely do we
Or
take,
lifestyle choices.
Or lifestyle choices. It's that time of year when we think, okay, it's a fresh beginning, it's a new start, it's a new year, and I'm going to start out strong, and I'm going to start out with such potential. And like most New Year's resolutions, I think the average is that they only really make it 10 days on their New Year's resolutions. Yeah. And by then old habits start. But when we were talking about the story piece, and we were talking about like how do we find ways for our Chew in the Crew community to maybe support them.
Chew in the Lou community.
What did I say?
Chew in the Crew.
I like that. Chew in the
Crew
Chew in the
community.
Crew. But how do we help support them by finding places to go here in St. Louis, or things in St. Louis to do if you are doing dry January? And I came across the place, the Mocktail Lounge.
Yeah, and the Mocktail Lounge was interesting because we were already down there for research for another episode of the podcast. And we were like, hey, while we're down there, let's connect with the Mocktail Lounge. That sounds like something that would fit really well for this further down the line episode we had planned. And we walked away from the recording for this really enlightened, really impressed, really just blown away at the two people we met, the story we heard, what's the word I'm looking for?
Just the dedication to trying to find alternative solutions to, at the end of the day, their journey through sobriety. Mm-hmm. Here is an individual that was really trying to find a place to offer fun without, alcohol being part of that fun. Mm-hmm. To say, hey, we can have fun and we can enjoy ourselves. But not only that, she took an old dive bar and she turned it into this glamorous 1940s venue.
Very glamorous.
Very glamorous. I felt so underdressed walking into. So, you hear lounge, you hear bar, you kind of like, oh, I'm good, Mm-hmm. And I felt like I needed to go and, put my hair in some rollers and pull out some red lipstick so I could fit in with some of the things that were happening.
Yes. I feel like I needed, it just, I don't know. I was so impressed, and I was proud for them.
Yeah.
In seeing, you see so many business owners that are in it to make money, or they're in it to build a name for themselves. And it was clear that the impetus for this business and creating it and hosting it was not obviously they need to make money to keep the business going, but that's not the reason for it. It's there to serve a purpose, and that purpose was to help serve a community of people, and a community of people that are going through and dealing with addiction, or dealing with alcoholism, or dealing with being alone and feeling alone,
or needing just to find
a safe place.
Yeah.
And that was so not what I was expecting to hear.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was expecting to hear like, hey, these are mocktails. Like, everyone has their idea in their head of a mocktail lounge or what mocktails are back from when we were in college.
Yeah.
And you go through like the freshman dorm that we're going to do mocktails, and don't get your drink spiked at XYZ bar, and it's like always a tiki drink, and it's always Hawaiian Lays and mocktails because it's fruit juice and stuff. And that's kind of what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I was like, we're going to go have some virgin daiquiris somewhere.
Yeah, super sweet or frozen, and just like you leave and you're like, I'm on a sugar high. Like, I'm addicted to sugar.
That's what I expected. And I was like, okay, we'll get some sound bites for the podcast. It'll be great. Photos will look good. Big colorful drinks, And it was, one, yes, the drinks were fantastic, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the human story behind it, and this is where, when you asked me what my New Year's resolution was, is identifying that there are these human stories that are pulled together by food, or by drinks, or by, something. And in this instance, it's just fantastic. Let's just go and talk. Let's meet them. Hi. How are you?
Welcome to the lounge.
Fun.
Yeah, it's
So cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but this isn't all I do. So I have a full-time day job that I do.
Wow.
What do you do for day jobs?
So I am a biomedical engineer.
Wow.
Yeah. So I work for a medical device company.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Here in town. Yeah. Over a year ago, I was bored. And I was looking for things to do, fun things that are, not so centered around alcohol and alcohol driven.
Yeah.
And I wanted a fun place to go to watch live music or play pool or just listen to some, just get with my girlfriends and things like that. And there wasn't any place for me to go really. And I had heard about different sober bars in New York and other big cities. They're popping up, and there's like there is sober like pop-ups. I don't know if you've heard about them, and they'll happen at different mocktail pop-ups, you know.
Yeah.
And so you can go and try out mocktails and all that stuff, but not a brick and mortar place,
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna open one.
Yeah.
So my friend and I, we sat and came up with the whole menu in my living room, my kitchen,
Awesome.
and made some amazing drinks. Some failed, some were great. We kept the ones we loved, and so we made up all this this menu, came up with the ideas, the designing, everything, bounced it off each other and everything. I really wanted something with like very classic, fun bar-y vibe, but throw in like the loungy 1940s classic fun.
Yeah.
That's why we have real linens on the tables. Our centerpieces are beautiful sprays of ostrich feathers and or peonies. And then we have that giant peony wall that we did. I did that. And that was a labor of love, that one. And then the pictures, and then all of our drinks are named after different things in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the Cary Grant, which is the dried martini, which I'm going to make for you. And it is it's a fun drink. And so one thing with mocktails, if you're going to have a drink without alcohol, it better be good and better be fun. Like there has to be some kind of like twist to it. It has to look pretty, taste good. Because we're still charging the same amount, but with no alcohol in it. And so people want to have that experience. And I love it when we can produce something and people get it and there's a wow factor. They're like, ooh, let me take a picture of this. Let me, Instagram that. Let's, and I'm like, that's great. Tag us. So we have a lot of fun. So what I'm going to make right now, because I'm going to make you a frothy feather. It's a coffee drink. this is a TikTok thing. So my daughters my daughters are 10 and 13, made it for me one day because I like coffee. And it was not great, but I love them very much. And so I figured out like how to do it myself. And then I'm like, this is like coffee crack. I love this. And so we made it into a drink. And so I'm going to make that for you today. It is like a coffee on top of coffee on top of coffee. It is, and then some chocolate.
And then some chocolate.
And then some chocolate. So it's amazing. All right. So this is how you make froth for Froth Agave. You whip it until it's this yummy whipped coffee texture. Yeah.
Nice bitter coffee frothiness.
And then
Sweet.
Yes. And so that's what instant coffee and
It's in one part instant coffee, one part sugar, one part hot water. It's usually
less
what it
than
is.
1 part hot water.
Okay.
You have to be very careful and not put too
Maybe
much hot
that's
water
why
because
mine
it's
doesn't work
it's really just
enough to give it some.
it's really just get a little wet. You just not the whole 10%. Okay, so we take chocolate and we drizzle the inside of this cup, right? Because you can never have enough chocolate. We actually keep cold brew coffee, so we can do like a cold coffee. So this is a cold drink, and then I'm gonna do the frothy coffee. You gotta have whipped cream. Lots of whipped cream. You put a little more chocolate. And then we add, usually we call it the frothy feather, and I'll add a chocolate feather. But since it's Thanksgiving time, I make chocolate turkeys.
Wow.
So for Christmas we'll have.
That's a labor of love right there.
It is, but it's so fun.
That's mocktails.
Instagram
Yeah.
worthy right there.
So we gotta, you gotta have your like chocolate turkey.
Yeah.
So here's your frothy
Wow, that
coffee.
looks so good.
So I really liked the frothy feather. Extra bonus points to Brandy for there being a chocolate turkey on it because it was right before Thanksgiving Day when we were there. And instead of the regular chocolate feather that was on there, I love iced coffee. Love iced coffee. So this was like iced coffee on top of iced coffee, but it wasn't just a regular iced coffee. It was an iced coffee that was done up. Like it was frou-frued and like it was good.
It was done well. Well, I think I had one sip and you drank the rest. So that was like Joe's drink.
It was like a coffee 4 ways. It was like we have coffee with frothy coffee on it, with coffee syrup on it, with
iced
chocolate,
coffee.
with iced coffee, and with cream, and with whipped cream, and with a chocolate something on top. I was like, oh yes.
Yes. It's definitely a drink. I think at one point you even said that it was better than, our typical
It's
Starbucks.
better than Starbucks, yeah. Oh yeah.
So.
I'd much rather walk into there and be like, give me a frothy feather than my standard iced caramel macchiato. Like it was that good, and I love that they're not using run-of-the-mill coffee. They're using a local coffee roaster in St. Charles. So it's good stuff. It was fresh stuff.
Yeah.
And that's something that she really talked about throughout this interview was the impetus on it being something that's fresh. When you're making a mocktail and you're removing the alcohol from a drink, you have to replace it with something. You have to make it fun. You have to replace it with energy and liveliness and fun so that it's filling that piece that you may be taking out. Otherwise, it's just juice or it's just coffee. But if you're adding something else to it, whether that be really well done coffee, put in a nice glass, giving you something to enjoy and feel special while you're drinking it, that's more than half the fun of when you want to drink. It's the experience of drinking that and having something to drink while you're talking to people.
Well, and I think that her just making it's like a labor of love because it's like she's whipping it up from scratch. it's not a quick like pull out of the fridge and dump in the glass kind of thing. Like there are multiple steps.
No, she did not have a pitcher of iced coffee that like it was just dump in a glass with ice and put whipped cream on top. There were like you said, multiple steps. And she makes her own chocolate turkeys. I mean, really, who does that? I love that. What's the secret to making a good mocktail? You keep talking that it's, to make it fun. But from a flavor component, what else is kind of the goal?
For flavor, what I've found makes a good mocktail is definitely like a fresh fruit. I don't sell soda here. So you can't, I have no soda on tap. I have nothing. So you're going to get like something fresh and fun and like something handmade. We hand make each of our mocktails. We have nothing in the back that, it's just ready to go. There's no, so everything has like that labor into it. So like, I'm going to make for you the Love Happy, which is our best seller. And it's a Blackberry Muddle. So it's actually blackberries and sugar and lime, and you muddle that together and make it this amazing blackberry sugary like sauce, and that goes in fresh sauce that goes into the drink. So that with a little bit of ginger beer, a little bit of ginger ale, and then a beautiful topping in a lovely glass, and you have a perfect mocktail.
Yeah. Since you've made the transition from drinking to making sobriety your focus, have you noticed, is there really a big difference in the two, like a cocktail and a mocktail? Like, is there getting other than the obviously?
I can walk afterwards. It is because I have drinking a lot of bad drinks, and you just drink it because it's alcohol, and you're like, oh, this tastes terrible, but I already paid for it, and it's alcohol. A mocktail, if you don't like your mocktail here, we replace it with something. Like, we're not going to make you drink a bad drink, if you don't like it and whatever. It has to be good. You have to, like, enjoy it. I'm going to make for you Cary Grant, and it's a sipper. It's not a chugging. These are all, like, sipper drinks, just like a cocktail you would. So I think, a mocktail is supposed to be something that is savored over time with your friends, just like a cocktail. So as long as it is, it has enough body to it and it's flavorful enough and, people enjoy drinking it, it works out pretty well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You feel better the next day, too.
Oh, yeah, no hangovers. No hangovers. You might have like a little sugar crash,
Yeah.
but you can handle it.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Well,
This is great.
Yeah. Well, we found Joe's new favorite drink. So.
The Frothy Coffee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Better than you get at Starbucks, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It is. It is. Actually, it is better than Starbucks. Our coffee is local here, so we get it from Course Coffee up on 2nd Street.
Nice.
And they brew their own beans and grind it for us, and they even deliver it. They're so sweet, yeah. So we try to stay local with all of our, different things that we have to get and stuff. Sometimes we can't, like our syrups, because we buy the top shelf flavoring and stuff. So we have to spend the dime to get those these are from like Italy.
Yeah.
So, but they're good. Yeah. They make a good drink. You got to start with like a recipe. You have to have good ingredients, or it's not going to be a good drink, no matter what you do to it or how pretty it is.
That's what I noticed about your space. When you first think of mocktails, I think back to my college days when they would do mocktails for the college students, and it always was like an exercise in tiki Polynesian culture, and it was a tiki bar, and it was fruity drinks that were just overly sweetened with syrupy and just like this is not that. Like, this is not, you have a refined establishment here with really great aesthetic and design and well thought out and well placed things and pianos and neat 1940s radios and a beautiful black pool table and it just has got a great vibe, and I love that. And it's a place that you want to go, and it's something that you want to spend time out with your friends, which is the idea. It's not let's go out and get drunk with somebody. It's let's go enjoy the people I'm with and have something that tastes delicious while you're doing it.
Well, and so Brandy, real quick, let's talk about the events that you throw here too, because you guys have your calendar is pretty full, and you guys have a lot of fun events that you're offering, or like social, gatherings that people can take part of. So.
Oh yeah, we do so much. So every Thursday, Cameron started a chess club. So we're not only in recovery, but big, huge nerds. So,
So at this point is when Brandy turned for a little bit of help from her mocktail mix master, which to me in my head, I was like,
Yeah,
somebody that
sounds
should
like a rapper.
Somebody that should, rap on the side of the Mocktail Lounge. And this was Cameron Markevich, who was somebody that was there helping out and does a lot of the drink work there at the Mocktail Lounge. Also, who has his own great story that he wanted to share with us.
Yes, and he's also responsible for a lot of the events and kind of helping put together the social calendars and encouraging people to find other great ways and avenues to enjoy themselves. And
they say that people socialize and open up more when you're drinking, and it's like that magic elixir of socialization with alcohol. But from my experience, I've made some of the most meaningful connections or met some of the most genuine people through socializing and doing all the things that you would do in a bar: live music, karaoke, trivia, something. You're not going to find chess club at a bar because it's too, but there's a lot of genuine connections being made in social events that don't involve drinking because, maybe alcohol will make that connection quicker, or, people will open up more quickly. But when you spend time together with people socializing and not drinking, there's something special that comes with that people might just have to find out for themselves.
So what mocktail pairs best with a chessboard?
Oh, probably some sort of coffee drink, I think. Yes, absolutely.
I could see this very well. Yes.
Frothy Coffee.
All right.
So we have the chess club every Thursday, and then every Friday and Saturday night we have live music, and it's a huge variety. So it could be from a 40s band or something. We've had local rappers come. We've had country. I just.
We had what was it, 12 German dancers on Oktoberfest. We had a full drum set and dancers and trombones and all the
tuba, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it was great.
So we do, and then we do, so we'll meetups, and we rent our space, which is, because it's so beautiful, for parties, birthday parties, holiday parties, baby showers, weddings. We've had 3 weddings here, got married in our space, and then had the reception here. It's great all mocktails, and it's a great place, especially if you don't want to have alcohol at your wedding and you're being pressured to. You don't have a place where the alcohol's not allowed.
Well, and this is a great venue for baby showers too, right? So if mom can't have a cocktail, then,
no one can.
Yeah. Well, that is fun. Well, perfect. So I think for me, I'd love to hear, you gave us a little bit about how this place came to be, but some of the research behind it, or some of the life events that happened to lead you to wanting to open up a mocktail bar.
Sure. So I am an alcoholic. Hello, Brandy. I'm an alcoholic. And I am on January 15th will be my 5-year birthday. Thank you. So January 15th, everything here will be $5. It's all going to be $5, except for our charcuterie platters, because those are super fancy. But all the drinks will be $5. So we're gonna, and I can do that because I own it. And so we're gonna have a $5, 5-year $5 party. But so before, when I was drinking and my drinking was becoming out of control, I went through a divorce. It was a very rough time for me personally. I mean, by the grace, I did not get into any legal trouble, and I never hurt anybody. But that was just, I was just really lucky. I did finally hit my bottom, and that's a personal journey that, anybody with any kind of addiction issues has to find. And I decided, I don't want to be this person anymore. I don't like this person that I was becoming and that I was behaving like. And I knew something was wrong and it needed to change. So I tried for a few months doing different things and everything. 12-step program, of course, absolutely saved my life. Made a whole bunch of different friends and connections and fellowship outside of that program. I met Cameron really early in my sobriety, the first year. I was actually with him and his wife, and I was completely convinced that I was never going to have fun again, right? And it was my first year, and it was 4th of July, and they made me come with them down here to watch the fireworks. And I was so uncomfortable. I was because I didn't know how to behave without drinking. I didn't know how to interact with people or be in a crowd or anything without having that drink in me, that liquid courage to give me what I needed. So I was my anxiety was through the roof. I was really crazy, and I was with them, and they were so nice and welcoming and everything, and kept, trying to get me out. So it was my very first time going out in public and an event, a holiday, sober, and that I had fun. And I was wow, you can do this. You can really do this. And I know that may sound like a simple thing. Of course you can have fun without drinking. But when you're getting sober, you are completely convinced that you can't. Everything in your life has revolved around alcohol. And then you take that away and you're oh, who am I? Yeah. So yeah, Cameron, that was the very first time I ever had fun. And I was oh, wow. So then I had a whole bunch more firsts. I had my first wedding I went to sober, my first Christmas sober, my first Easter sober, my first everything was, sober. And it was an amazing journey. And I wanted to build a place that was safe and fun and that you could have all these experiences, but you weren't bombarded with alcohol, that you weren't going to be, it's such a fun, this lounge is such a fun and amazing place, but you don't need it, And I wanted to show people that you can have a good time without alcohol. It's possible. We have so much fun. We have games here. We, play chess. We play pool. Live music is amazing. We do karaoke, which I like to call soberoke, which sober karaoke is epically fun. I mean, it is so fun. And so we do karaoke and we do all this great things here that and just have a blast. We laugh so much and are loud and obnoxious. I mean, apparently that loud and obnoxious it's not related to alcohol when it comes to me. But we do have a lot of fun. It's been a wonderful journey.
That's amazing. Well, congratulations. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, and then Cameron has how many years?
December will be 8 years in recovery. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a nice story to hear because, I've always worked in, it's funny, when I stopped drinking, my first job then after drinking was at a beachside bar in Florida, being a barback, changing keg tabs and stuff, and then not drinking, and then everyone around me being that is not a smart idea. But, I stuck close to the people that were good for me, and the whole socializing thing is, I think, a huge factor when it comes to drinking and food in general. We're talking about food and recipes and just changing your, just the idea of food brings people together, drinks bring people together. So, and then as far as my, working around it and having this opportunity to be here with Brandy, we met because of our circumstances in life being out of control, and then we come together with a common idea of trying to have fun and without drinking. Just taking the idea of alcohol out of the picture is such a monumental thing for some people, and I think for the culture in general. We're sitting here making an entire podcast segment about about being dry for an entire month, which is that's a whole event for a lot of people, and because alcohol is such a key part of our culture, and I love alcohol is not all bad, and alcohol is it's part of the world, and it's, it's a good thing. I'm not here saying that alcohol is bad at all. That's not what we're saying, but just the meeting Brandy and having this opportunity to come in here and because sobriety is a part of my life outside of working. And then I've always worked in restaurants and always been a bartender and, been serving people drinks and then not drinking myself, and just being in that social, and then and especially being younger, I got sober in my 20s, and, so just this type of place to me is still every day is just like blowing my mind, because it's like, it's a fun bar atmosphere. Like, it's so cool. And then to be able to meet sober people or people who are interested in sobriety, or a segment of time of being dry, like dry January, like try it for a month, and people will be very surprised with the type of not only health benefits but social benefits that come from taking a period off from drinking.
One of my favorite stories is that we were here, we were open, a lady came in, she was super nice, and she's like, if I wasn't here, I was gonna go drink. And I mean, I just loved, like, it warmed my heart. Like, I loved to be open, and I'm like so grateful. I mean, and I opened this in the middle of a pandemic. I'm like, let's open a sober bar. Like, who does that? So I know everybody laughed. They're like, you what? You want to do what? And I'm like, I know. And took this huge leap of faith, and just, keep living by that faith, and then it's working.
So this was the part of the story that is, we had a mocktail or two. We had experienced the really cool decor. We had heard the story of how the Mocktail Lounge started, but we really got the story as to how someone like Brandy got where she was, and what the impetus was for creating the culture around the Mocktail Lounge. And that was her own personal battle with alcoholism, which was not something that we walked in there really expecting to ask about or inquire about, but in the natural flow of conversation, that was something that was shared. And I think that's really just fantastic and just empowering to hear her share that.
Well, I think it's courageous. And I think when you're meeting someone or you're talking with someone that is going through, they say recovery, but a lot of it is also, them coming to a whole new realization of themselves. But it's a journey and it's a struggle, and every choice that they make is usually a hard one. And so I think it's very courageous for Brandy to, open up a bar-like atmosphere. Because that can be a trigger for a lot of people that are going through the journey, to want to do that. But I think that what I just fell in love with was the spirit that she fills that whole place with.
Well, and that was the tremendous part. It takes a special kind of person, and a special person to be able to overcome something like that in your life, and to do what you do to go into recovery, and but then to take it a step further and provide for others.
Yes.
And create that space for those that may need additional assistance.
Yeah.
And do that as a business and put that out there, put yourself out there financially in that way.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there emotionally in that way. I mean, that was inspiring.
It
Incredible.
can be very vulnerable to even just say the words, I'm an alcoholic.
Yes.
Right. A lot of people go through that and have a hard time even saying that. And so I think for her to say it, and to own it, and to say, let's find a solution for us, because she's like, my life's not over because I'm not drinking. It's just beginning, and we're going to have more fun. And I think Cameron also knowing that, the part that he played in her story and how he's there supporting, and he's there also helping others too. I think that's amazing. But the more and more that we kept hearing, I was just there's things in life that happen very kismically. And I think that for Brandy and for Cameron and for the people that continue to come into our store, you can just tell that it's like the universe is kind of putting people in the right place to have this experience and to know that this is an option.
Yeah. I mean, they talked about, having sober weddings and sober baby showers and just gatherings for all different kinds of things, and just creating this immense network. And it was just so cool that we went out there to try a couple mocktails, and it almost seemed like for us at the end of this that the drinks themselves were in the background of this interview.
Oh my God, yes.
You know,
Yeah.
we've got them. We've got really cool audio, and they were delicious. That's secondary to the human story here.
Yeah. I'm very, it's a lot for them to do this and to put themselves in this position. So,
But
it's amazing.
speaking of amazing mocktails, that next one we had,
The Cary Grant. I gotta tell you, I'm not
delicious.
I was a little blown away because first off, it was a dirty martini, and I'm not an olive person. I'm not an olive fan,
me neither.
but I think I was more blown away on the fact that here she is making a drink that has the exact same flavor profile of a dirty martini.
Yes.
Not a drop of alcohol, not a drop of vermouth.
Nope.
There was olives in it, but I was like, I could drink this. I
Yeah.
could have some of this.
I don't like olives either. I despise olives, actually. And I was very skeptical. I was like, oh, she's making a drink with olives in it. I'm going to have to like suck it up and drink this and be nice. It actually was really good.
Yeah.
I would actually order that and drink that. And again, it was in a martini glass.
Yeah.
It had 4 olives on a skewer.
It had a diamond ice cube in it.
It was beautiful.
Yeah. There's no doubt in it that there's a lot of thought put into every single one of these drinks to kind of fit every flavor profile of somebody.
And
that walks
making
in.
sure that even though there's not alcohol in it, it is hitting every other aspect of what the social drinking experience is for you, minus the alcohol.
Exactly.
So the Cary Grant is made, and to make it even more fancy, we put a diamond ice cube in it. So it's, you just can't have an ice cube here. You have to have a diamond ice cube.
Yeah. You have a turkey chocolate.
And a diamond ice cube.
Diamond ice cube.
This is actually my least favorite drink, but I love making it. So there's that. Ice? Yep. So we use actual shot glasses. This is olive brine. So it's basically olive juice.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good. It's like it's the base of any kind of good olivey drink. But there you go. All of our drinks need something fresh in it. You just can't open a can here or just open a bottle. So we'll use fresh ingredients in everything. So this gets a fresh lime hand squeezed into it to get all the good juices and the liminess, and then I throw it in there, and then this gets stirred, not shaken. Here, I'm going to open this. Oh.
Ooh, ginger beer.
So yeah, ginger beer is on the menu, and it's funny. I sell ginger beer, the only beer you'll find here.
Yeah.
Try it. It is very martini-y.
Oh, that's refreshing.
Yeah,
Even though I'm not a fan of olive, it's still nice. Like you said, it's a sipper. Like it's something that you could sip over time and enjoy.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, it tastes like an alcoholic drink, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it tastes like a dry martini.
Yeah, 'cause I'm like, I really do not like olives, so I wouldn't eat the olives, but I'd drink this.
Yeah. And that's crazy because it's got olive brine in it.
Yeah, but it's also got a little bit of the ginger beer and the lime.
Yeah.
And the fresh lime, yeah. The
It's a good balance of everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crisp
Yeah.
taste to it, and the ginger beer gives it a little bit of bite.
Yeah.
Do you run like a normal bar hours? Like you open to the late hours of the night?
So we stay up until 11.
Okay.
So I do close before the bars close.
The witching hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you guys a Love Happy, which is
Okay.
our bestseller
Okay.
and my favorite. And on our menu, we have a so people are like, I don't know what to get. I don't know what to get. I don't know what to get. So we do have a selection. It's the I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Frankly, I don't give a damn. And when people order that, my go-to personally is the Love Happy.
That's a big hit. Yeah.
Like this glass is alone just telling me, like, I don't care what you put in it. That's a stunning glass.
Isn't
Yeah.
That's such a pretty glass. Yeah, this is my favorite glass, and I have to get more because we broke 3 this month. I don't know how we did that. Yeah.
And the creative names and everything. You know, we have the strawberry daiquiri and what's the pina colada type, but we have a Key Largo and a Casablanca, and we have all the creative names to match the 40s theme.
Yeah. So when anybody orders a strawberry daiquiri, I'm like, no, that's not what we call it here. Everything's better with a sugar rim. Don't spill over. I did that once on camera.
It makes for good TV.
I was so nervous that I squeezed the bottle and ginger went everywhere.
So out of all the 1940s movies that you have listed, what's your favorite? Which one is like calls to you?
Casablanca, The Bishop's Wife. I really liked The Bishop's Wife. Have you guys seen that? It's a really good black and white. Cary Grant is in it. He's fabulous. Anything with Cary Grant.
I was gonna say, could one say you have a crush on Cary Grant?
I do have a crush on Cary Grant. Anything with Cary Grant. He's just beautiful.
They don't make him like they used to.
Oh, they don't. So this is our Love Happy.
That is gorgeous.
Yes.
See, I would order. I don't give a damn because every time I go out to drink, I'm always like, surprise me. Like I just, made a lot of choices today. The last 15.
Yeah, that's the last thing is like make a hard decision
Like
on a
just-
delicious
Thank you.
drink.
Yeah.
The last drink that she made for us was in this just beautiful glassware. I don't know if you remember it, but it was like
It looked like a small trifle.
it was like a small trifle, but I was like, oh, someone broke out the good crystal for us today. We are some important guests. But I think this one was my favorite. And I laugh because the 3 drinks she made us hit. You liked the coffee drink. Our producer, Veronica, was in love with Cary Grant. I think she ended up drinking a majority of that. And then this last one, I was like, this is my drink. I'm going to have all of this. You guys can have a taste. And this is me. So it was blackberry muddled, and it had a little bit of lime juice, some sugar, and then ginger beer, ginger ale. And it's just this beautiful,
And that was
beautiful
interesting that it was
glass.
ginger beer and ginger ale.
Yes.
It's always, for me, whenever I make something, it's always one or the other. I think they're fairly interchangeable.
Yeah.
But Cameron explained how they're not interchangeable and
Yeah.
how they each imbibe different profiles and why that's important in a mocktail, which I found super fascinating.
Yeah. It was the Love Happy was the name of it. And so it's got strawberries and raspberries, and just it's one of those drinks that you're just like, oh, I can see why it's Love Happy because I'm getting a little happy. It's like
fresh.
enjoyable and it's fresh. And I thought it was interesting that they don't carry soda there. Like they don't have, like you can't go in and order, a Sprite or, they've got just a variety of other drinks, and they want to make sure that you're getting something that is special.
I just think it's cool that this type of thing is getting some exposure, and yeah, I mean, I think we've talked about it a lot also, and I'm just grateful for you guys coming and checking us out and talking about mocktails and talking about dry January, and yeah, I hope a lot of people find the curiosity and get on board and just give it a shot. Yeah, not you don't have to come here. You can make all these things at home, or you can find all types of things. But if you change a diet, change a lifestyle, give it a shot.
I think my number one passion in life is trying to put forth the idea that you can have fun and without alcohol, that you can be sober and happy. So I dare anybody to come down and not have a good time, because I will make sure you do. And I will find a drink that is your drink, and we will play a game, and we will laugh, and we will have a good time. So I want just to show the world and show my kids and show society that we can have fun and be responsible.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm here, and I'm still trying to have like fun every day, and I love it. And it's so come down, share, join, laugh, love, drink a mocktail. Oh, and we can do sugar-free too.
How can people find out about like the events or things that you guys have going on?
So follow us on Facebook, of course, the Mocktail Lounge, and then we on our themocktaillounge.com, our website, we have our calendar is on there, and then we're also on Twitter and Instagram, the Mocktail Lounge, so you can pretty much follow us anywhere, and then get on our mailing list, which you can sign up on our website, and then you can get all kinds of information. I don't bombard you with craziness, but so we do post and let everybody know what's going on and all the fun
swing
stuff.
dance lessons starting in
Country swing.
There you go.
Yeah, swing dancing every first Friday of every month, and starting in January, and then karaoke is the second Friday of every month. So, it's gonna be fun. Yeah. It's a lot. It's like dancing and singing. Yeah.
Who knew you could do both of those things at the same time? Cary Grant did, but
Yeah, right.
Well, thank you guys both for your time. I think not only are they providing a great place, but their advice is solid. You know, I think when you're making a step for sobriety or to pull back maybe on the amount that you are drinking, you know, it's baby steps. You know, you're not taking a deep dive. And I love that both Brandy and Cameron have great ways of giving people the opportunity to, you know, take the journey.
Yeah. And that's what was really cool is, and I think one of the takeaways of this is, you know, we're not saying that anybody that has to go on that kind of journey needs to open a mocktail lounge.
No.
That's not the message here. I think the message, though, is that there are ways and there are outlets for you to still live your life.
Yeah. And you're not alone.
Fullest, and you're not alone.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of the neatest advice out of all of the stuff that we got from Brandy and Cameron was even at low points in their journeys, they found each other as friends and have flourished in creating this support network through the Mocktail Lounge for others.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, talk about like what a tremendous story that is and tremendous hope that provides. And that's, you know, and that it's just through their love of serving others and providing and
wanting to have fun.
Yeah. You know, and that's just what they do. I mean, who opens a mocktail lounge that has a chess night? I mean, that just, you think that's not going to work. It works. They get tons of people there for it because that's what people wanted.
Yeah. I love it. Well, I think if you're on the journey, if you're playing with dry January, you know, or if any time in the year that you feel the need to maybe, you know, check it out, you know, downtown Main Street, St. Charles is where the Mocktail Lounge is located. And check out their event calendar because they've got so many incredible events throughout the course of every month to offer people an opportunity to come and check them out and participate.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't say if you or someone you love is struggling with alcoholism and just needs some assistance, that you can reach out to the Alcoholics Anonymous 24/7 hotline, which is
1-800-839-1686.
So again, reach out to that phone number if you have any questions about alcoholism or addiction or things that you may be going through or a loved one may be going through. Those are real problems, and there are real people that can help you with it. So looking back, I don't know if, you know, my New Year's resolution of telling better food stories, this is a pretty good one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to top it based upon how impactful this one was on me. It set the bar pretty high for 2022. But I'm proud to be able to share this story with the True Crew audience because, again, it's so impactful to see. It's one of triumph. It's one of success. It's one of overcoming obstacles, and that should always be celebrated. So congratulations to Brandy and to Cameron.
Yes.
I think that's tremendous. And here's hoping that we have lots more things to celebrate in 2022.
Here's to more stories like this one.
All right, this has been the Chew in the Loop podcast with your host, Lydia Gwynn,
And Joe Prosperi.
and produced by Veronica Moheski. And special thanks to Brandy Schmidt and Cameron Markavish of Mocktail Lounge. This has been a production of 9 PBS in St. Louis.
Make sure you follow us on your favorite social media platform and subscribe to us on your favorite podcast network.